Yes, man, oh man, we're there. We are happy to be here with you this evening. It's our first episode for March because last week was holiday. It was Ash Wednesday. But we're back in full swing this week and inside a brand new episode of The Mailbox. This program was designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's aired every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday, at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. I am Courtney Morrison. Kevin is going to be joining us shortly. He's not here, but we want to just say to you, to all our listeners, thanks for making it Love 101, your station of choice, the number one gospel station right here in Jamaica. And we want to thank those joining us by YouTube and other media platforms. Thank you for choosing Love 101 and the mailbox in particular. If you're new around here, welcome. We're excited for what's online and up for today's show. But before we share what's on the lineup, we just want to just say, tell you a bit about my weekend. It was one where I did a funeral on Friday, a wedding on Saturday, and then I attended the launch of the International Women's Day put on by the Bureau of Gender Affairs, and it was held right at the Boulevard Baptist Church. And it's one of Love's own sister who brought the message, Shirley Levy Gale. And so it was quite interesting to hear the message. And we say, happy belated International Women's Day to all the women of character, women of strength, strong, especially to our Black women. Indeed, to all women around. And so it has been a powerful weekend. Yesterday, Tuesday, being International Women's Day. Hi, Basilia Barnaby. Hi, Lady Nadine. Hi to our Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, and all that they continue to do to empower our women, break the bias, break all the barriers, and indeed set the momentum for our women. Well, the lineup this week, we have an interesting lineup for you. We're going inside where? The barbershop. Inside the barbershop, let me see here. I guess the barbers are going to find it interesting. Inside the barbershop, I wonder how many of them is going to want to cut my hair. So, virtually that is, you might think that a barbershop is just a place men go to groom and get a haircut. But barbershops offer so much more than grooming services. It is the atmosphere at a barbershop that most guys find appealing. I wouldn't know, I haven't been there for some time. It is the place where you can go to see old friends and talk about a wide variety of topics. It's really an oasis where guys can be guys. A man can just be man and chill out and relax and talk about some things and feel comfortable about themselves. And so today, inside the mailbox, inside our lineup, it's all about being in the barbershop. We're talking about cuts and conversations. Why should a man have deep conversations in the barbershop? We're going to find out. Why only inside a barbershop? Is it more important than just a cut, a trim, a shave? Let's find out. What are the kind of conversations men have in the barbershop? And does the barbershop provide a therapeutic environment for men? Why, if it does? Why does it provide such? Is it the barber themselves or just that they're sitting in a chair? We will have the answers to all these questions. How does conversation in a barbershop contribute to a man's mental health? Does it contribute to his mental health? Does it help him in any shape, fashion, or form? And so our guests this week, we have two guests with us. Stephen Chase, he's the CEO at Men's Grooming Lounge, and he's been a barber for over 18 years, sorry, not 14 years, 18 years. And we also have Kamara Scott. He's an entrepreneur and barber for 8 years. We also have joining us from the US, Lorenzo Lewis, who was born in jail. Let's listen to his history, quite an interesting one, to an incarcerated mother where he struggled with depression, anxiety, and anger throughout his youth. At 17, he almost re entered the system of mass incarceration he had come from. It was then he snapped in and began his journey to wellness. Congratulations. He is now a mental health advocate, speaker, and social entrepreneur with a decade of professional experience in behavioral health and founder of the Confess Project, an initiative that empowers barbers to become mental health advocates. Wow, we really want to hear from Lorenzo. It provides an atmosphere for advocates of men of color. Lorenzo helps you confess to your issues to begin to build a better process of living, where to date the project has trained over 300 barbers in 20 cities. That's so interesting. Let's welcome our guests today who are with us. We are in the barber shop. Then how the barber have Oliver here, man. Then how the barber not cut him here to man. Barber make me feel good with my hair. But we're going to find out today how this works. As we said, we have with us three guests today: Lorenzo Lewis from the USA, Stephen Che, CEO at Men's Grooming Lounge, and Kamar Scott, entrepreneur and barber for 8 years. Yes, we have an interesting lineup for you today. And so we want to ensure that you go tell all your friends, come join us. Tell all the men to come and listen to this one. It's going to be an interesting time right here on the mailbox. Remember, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Who do we have with us? We have Lorenzo Lewis. He has on that legacy cap. We can't see if he has hair or not, but we know him have beard for sure. And we have Kemar, who has hair like me. I don't know, it looks a little shorter, but we're going to find out on you. Gentlemen, good afternoon. How are you both? Kemar, your microphone is muted. You probably want to unmute it.
It's muted.
Aye, now we're hearing you.
Okay, hear me.
Yes, we are.
Alright, cool.
All right, gentlemen. So thanks for joining us. You can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. We're going inside the barbershop today. Anybody ready for a haircut? Snip, snip. Cuts and conversation. And we're also going inside the minds and conversations of those who go into the barber. Ladies, remember, you are welcome. Your participation is welcome. You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. Females, remember, no calls or voice note allowed. Hey, and so I want to give a big shout out to the man them. I hope you spent your weekend well. I hope you celebrated International Women's Day yesterday. It's our day today on Wednesday, though. And so to all of the man, them we just say Monday, and we shout out and say, any man we can hear we, whether you're driving by, whether you're in your home, and you want to shout out and just make somebody know, say Monday, right? Today. We are good. And so we're going to go right into what we call the draft with both Lorenzo and Kemar. The draft is what we tend to look at before we head into the main discussion. We want to get to know our guests a bit more. We will go all the way until till 6:30 p.m. Gents, it's now time for us to get into the main segment, into the segment we call draft. Direct response afford featured theme. We primarily open the way to our main segment. And so we want to ask you a couple of questions, getting to know you a bit better. So I want to ask both Kemar and Lorenzo, did you always want to become a barber? Was barber or did barbering choose you? Where did you learn the skill? And that I will direct to Kemar because afterwards I want to point a question directly to Lorenzo.
Mm.
Did you always want to become a barber, Kemar, or did barbering choose you? How did you learn the skill? Where did you learn the skill?
Uh, can you hear me clearly?
Very clearly, sir.
Good. First of all, I would like to say barbering chose me. Growing up, I think it was somewhat a family tradition. Growing up, seeing, you know, two of my uncles doing it, and um, kind of got the passion for it. Then went to high school. You start line up like two of your little friend them in a school, and you know, school over. Spend most of the time in the bathroom cause Friday evening now. Man, I try fresh up them line up, stuff like that. So it went from there. Graduated from high school. Um, I kind of my attention went to engineering after I
Yeah,
left high school, and
yes.
did engineering for I think 2 years or 3 years, and then it kind of slowed down again, and then I felt like I needed to get back into barbering. And then
Mhm.
somebody, I think it was my uncle at the time, said to me, "Why don't go and get certified as a barber?" And then I thought about it, and then I said, "You know what? I'm gonna apply for the Hart College of Beauty Services," and
Yes.
that's when I went in 2013. Did the course, got certified, and then from there on, it's just barbering for me.
Excellent, excellent. You
Mm.
practiced on your friends at high school and eventually get certified at heart. Gerald
Mm-hmm.
Gordon said, big up to my top barber.
Yeah.
Barber. So you don't know. And that picture shows a very nice groom, well cut hair. So it must have been yours. You said you did engineering. Did that help you in how to line up and shape the cuts? I don't know if engineering helped you any at all.
I would say, I would say art. I would say art helps because um at first I couldn't see how it would help in barbering, and then I met another young barber. I forgot his name. I met him a few years ago, and
Yes.
he said to me, he's an artist as well, and he said to me, whenever you're doing carvings or making your lineups, you have to envision the line, and then it clicked. Everything clicked. So me being an artistic person, and went ahead and doing engineering and stuff, I think everything just incorporated.
Barbering is an art. Sir Lorenzo, thanks for joining us all the way from the United States of America. Tell us a bit more, though, about the Confess project, a little bit about yourself. Tell us something we want to know. What exactly is the project Confessing? Tell us a bit about that, Lorenzo.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I'm coming through pretty good. But yeah, this has been a real opportunity that we've been able to create around training barbers to be mental health advocates. So just very clearly, I'm not a barber by trade. I grew up in my aunt's beauty salon as a kid. I recognized the power in going in a salon and a beauty shop at the time here in the states, and it was a very powerful and contagious experience. And so I'm really been able to take that experience as a young person and really turn that into a national movement here in the states, training
Awesome.
barbers to be advocates. And so today we're actually in 40 cities. 1,000 barbers have been trained in our work. We're hoping
Excellent.
that our work can go beyond the states, and so that's why I'm really excited about this opportunity. Really big shout outs to Kamar and the work he's doing there at the
Yeah,
barbershop.
man.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's our my story. That's our story, and a little bit more about me is that I was incarcerated at the age of 17. I connected with my birthplace. My mother and father was incarcerated when I was born in this world, so I know what trauma means. I recognize what depression looks like, and I was afforded the opportunity to work in the mental health field, and that's why I
Mhm.
recognized that we needed a safe space to be heard and to be seen and to be valued. And so that's how the Confess Project also had come about through my journey of healing and restoration.
Awesome. You mentioned that a safe space for us
Mm,
to be able to speak freely. We're going to get a bit more into that as we go along because we really want to hear, is the barber shop a convenient, safe place for our men or others there listening in? Or, you know, we have heard the parallel to women being in the hairdressers, and that's where they tend to share. We want to know if this is just as convenient for the men. Are you counselors? Is it a therapeutic environment at being the barber? How much of a man's business do you hear when you are doing these? But the Confex project, Sir Lorenzo, is awesome, and the training that you have provided. Do you think that, and just yes or no, a short answer on this one, that it is really a safe space, a space without judgment for our men to come to, that while they're being groomed and attended to, that they can share? Is it really safe?
I feel like it is. I think that every barbershop has its own culture, but I believe that barbers and client can really share a strong relationship that can be plentiful over time, for sure.
Thank you. That was Lorenzo. Kemar, your response?
I agree. I definitely agree with Lorenzo. Um, yeah, all right, short answer. Yeah, man, definitely agree with Lorenzo.
Just one other question that I'd like to ask. Is it different for us as men of color in the barber shop than it is opposed to any other race? What do you think there?
Is it different?
Yes. Or is it the same thing? Us men of color, are we willing to share? Do we sit in the barber shop and really share? Or are we just there for a haircut, pay you, and as soon as we're finished, thank you, yes, I'm a barber, good thing, and we're gone? Do we really share as men of color?
Um, Personally, like I feel like not in some cases, because um knowing different barbers from all over the world, like Hispanic barbers, you'd hear a person say, you know, men of color, and Hispanic barbers, the barber shop is a whole different vibe. I think like what Lorenzo said, I think it's a cultural thing, not necessarily, like men of color versus, those who are not. I feel like it's a more of a cultural thing.
Very
Very
good.
interesting, Courtney.
Yes, Kevin, welcome. Good to have
Yes, thank you, thank you. Very interesting conversation. Um, Hearing these gentlemen speaking of the reality, and I'm learning some stuff here, and sure we're gonna get a little deeper into questions like why only inside the barber shop? Is it more than just a cut or a trim? And what are the kinds of conversations men have in the barbershop? We want to know some of those conversations, How does those conversations in the barbershop contribute to a man's mental health? Is it doing good to them? What do you think, Courtney? So I'm catching up here.
well, as you can see, I don't really get to go in the barber shop, but I want to hear from them what what their position is, you know.
Yes.
Um, Strangely enough, I used to do barbering. I used to cut hair as well. So I want to hear. I used to do my families. I used to do my friends, and it was great. It gave us a time and space to talk. Does it contribute to it? But just want to remind those who are listening and those who are viewing us on YouTube, Facebook, and those in Radio Land that our guest this evening, Lorenzo Lewis, is from the United States. He's a mental health advocate. He's a TED speaker, founder of the Confess Project, an initiative that empowers Barber to become mental health advocates for men of color. We also have Sir Kemar Scott. He's a barber and entrepreneur for 8 years, located in the soon-to-be parish Portmore. So let's get right into this discussion. Why only inside the barber shop? Is it that you find that it's only inside the barber shop and men come for more than just a cut or a trim? Lorenzo, tell us a bit. You're a mental health advocate there. Is it that they come for more than just a haircut?
Yeah, no, I believe a lot of it is definitely relationships. Think about particularly here. I'm gonna speak from in the states, and I'm sure it may be in other areas. But we kids start going to a barber as early as a small kid, 4 or 5 years old, and they will grow up over time, right? Go to that same barber. They know everything about them. They've helped them through grief. They've helped them through relationships. They've seen them grow and change. And so, what better way of having somebody, that's had that relationship with you, that you patronize, and give you a dwelling service of feeling good, and so we like to say that when you go to your barber, that is also being able to shed some of that emotion and some of that anxiety that may be bothering you in life, because you get to let your guard down a little bit, because you feel good and you look good when you leave the barbershop. So.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo. We also have with us online by telephone Stephen Chase. He's CEO at Men's Grooming Lounge located in Kingston, and he has been a barber for over 18 years. Let him join in with us now. Stephen, are you there?
Yes, Lorenzo, I'm here.
Oh, you are with us, Stephen Chase. Is it Stephen?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Yes. Tell us a bit about your own experience in the barbershop. Do men come for more than just a trim or a cut? You have been a barber for over 18 years. You're a veteran in this thing. What's happening there with our men when they come to get a cut or a trim?
Well, the barbershop, so the barbershop for men is like you say, therapeutic. You know what I mean? A man can come and meet with him long-time friend, just come in to get a haircut, see our old classmate, you know what I mean? Something, somebody grew up with, and can have a conversation, you know what I mean? Even sometimes, men go through stress, and trauma sometimes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's good to see somebody, a familiar face, somebody where you and them can sit down and relax and hold a reason and talk about stuff that you don't even want to talk about at home, you know what I mean? I'm on the barbershop, get a haircut, and see him friend, and can kick back and hold a reason, let out him feelings, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And at the end of the day, him feel more comfortable when he's leaving, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So the barbershop is not just about a haircut only, It's like the barbershop is like a bar, You go to a bar, people go to a bar and will drink, have a drink, and reason about things, man talk, you know what I mean? And everything you want to talk around a female, or you want a female to hear, per se, you know what I mean? So a man like go to the bar, have him there, eat up with him friends, and have a man talk. So that's about
tell me something, Steven. It is said that men really don't like talking, but from what I'm hearing with the gentlemen, is that men will speak, and especially when they feel safe and so. But is it true that men will talk based on your experience? And then share what are some of the things that these men are talking about? You can start off with that. Yeah.
Well, and ladies are tuning to the broadcast. They are listening.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't want to let out too much still.
Your counselors, and so you have to be confidential as well.
Right. Because I have also worked in barbershops where there are beauty salons. Okay? So, and you have the barbershop section across on the beauty salon, and females do talk, and the stuff they talk about sometimes. They don't listen to them, Just like how them sit down and listen to we, So, I have an insight on some of the stuff they like to talk about, So, the same thing with me, but it's not everything we're going to talk about in front of females. Right? So, it's like my salon, the Men's Grooming Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this came about between me and my business partner, Dwayne Curry. So I was working in Uppercut for 15 years.
Yes.
Leave Uppercut, decided to go on my own.
Oh, yes, man. We know the Uppercut barbershop.
Yeah, man. Leave Uppercut, decided to go on my own and everything. And on my own for a while. you know. But based upon my experience in like a top class barbershop, like an uppercut, see, I learned a lot. I gained a lot of wisdom, knowledge, how to, you know, say, no, I want my own. The first barbershop I actually worked in was a barbershop downtown East Queen Street, and it was called Jones Barber. So you need to know that. Was Jones Barbers was the best barbershop in the whole entire Jamaica. I mean, first class, professionalism. You have to have on your black pants, your white shirt with your tie, right? You have on your black shoes. You have to properly groom, uniform. I got all of that from Jones, right? When I went to Uppercut, I saw a similar thing. Not as polished as Jones, but close to. You know, they were trying to be like Jones then, right? So I learned the professionalism of the business. You know what I mean? I learned the professionalism of the business. I say, you know what? I want to have a salon that caters to male. That was the start of the inception of men's grooming lounge. You know, it's just like how you have the females that go to the hairdresser and get themselves on, but females go to hairdressers almost every day. You know, go to the nail technician to get their nails done. The hairdresser get them, females pamper themselves. I find out that a lot of men do not do that. You know, men tend to try to want to take care of the female. Get the female money. She can take care of herself and look nice and feel nice and comfortable with herself, and they don't take enough care of themselves. So I wanted to create a place and a space for males to come and get themselves pampered, right?
I like that.
Male, do a facial, can get a body massage, you know, everything under one roof, and that was the inception of the men's grooming lounge, right?
Excellent.
So we cater to males. We cater to males. Males come here, they do facials, body massage, body wax, everything. That's like how you have a female pampering themselves. That's how I want males to start taking care of themselves. The female loves a well-groomed male, and men need to understand that. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
And start taking more care of themselves. That was how men's grooming lounge came about.
I love all that you have said, Stephen. I don't know, Kemar and Lorenzo, what about what you do make men keep coming back to your place? Is it the counseling? Is it that you give a listening ear? Is it that they feel safe? What about your place where you work? What makes the men that you take care of return? Kemar, you first.
All right. I'd like to say it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of everything, I should say. It's a little bit of the quality service that you provide. It's also the counseling, because going a little bit back to the question that you asked earlier about why is it the barbershop? Is it just more than a cut? So this is how everything gets involved. You know, I like to think of the barbershop as a consecrated, place, because
Say that again. You like to think of it as a consecrated place.
yeah, because most times when men come to the barbershop and we have a discussion, I'm on the program now. When I think about it, when I leave the barbershop, majority of the conversations that are held inside the barbershop stays within the barbershop walls. It doesn't go outside that. It's like a guy code type of thing.
Yes.
So it's everything. It's the counseling, it's the service, it's just you as an individual, bringing a vibe to the customers. And also what Lorenzo said earlier about you. I'm fairly young. I'm still a young barber, but there are days when I look at teenagers now that I used to cut when they were, toddlers, and even the babies know that, come out of diapers and I walk around. And sometimes I look at them and I say, they might get big so fast. So it has a lot to play with with you being their barber for such a long period of time and counseling them and help grooming them into an individual.
Hey, we're going to throw for a time signal. We just heard from Kemar, and Kemar, there is a comment. Kemar, someone Wayne Hayes say you're the best barber in St. Catherine. Big
Yeah,
Wayne fam, wife
yeah, man.
included. We're gonna throw back to the studio and we'll come back. We're gonna speak with Lorenzo Lewis a bit. Thank you for joining the mailbox. We'll be right back after these messages.
We are gonna run them when the God man them there. In the Lord, we are when the God man them there.
Do you feel your personality is being suppressed just to please your spouse? Are the recipes in your marriage recipes of unhappiness? Do you feel you would be better off single than married? You eat what he eats, you drink what she drinks. You should now invite them to listen to the truly marvelous program To Have and to Hold this Thursday, March 10 at 5:30 p.m. with host Colleen Beckles and co-host Pastor Napoleon Black as they discuss when a spouse wants more independence. It's gonna be marvelous, and you should truly listen in this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. right here on the family station Love 101.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status, if you consider, the least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Do a HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Real long life for say youth, coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Grace Mackerel, you're my number one. Like, love you, yeah. Time by Grace Mackerel is.
It's 2 minutes past the hour 6 right here on Love 101 FM. You're listening to the program, The Mailbox. Thank you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, and all social media platforms. And so we're talking to the barbers. You're inside the barbershop. Today, it's all about cuts and conversations. Is the barbershop a place that's therapeutic? Do our barbers actually provide counseling? And we have been hearing from Lorenzo Lewis from the United States of the Confess Project. We have Kemar, who has been rated as the best barber in St. Catherine. So says those who have been commenting. And Stephen Chase, who has been a barber for the past 18 years, moving from uppercut into his own. And so we're back with these three wonderful gentlemen. My co-host, Kevin Bailey, is also online. Kevin, just before we get back to Lorenzo, we want to not skip this one. It's called Favorite Folder. That's what time we are in. What happens here?
Right. So in Favorite Folder, we're looking at men who cheat on their barber. Is there something like that, you cheat on your partner? We want the barber to tell us personally how you view this, Lorenzo. I think you can start, do you think that your customers can cheat on you? What does that look like? How do you feel and how do you deal with it?
Well, actually, I'm not a barber by trade, so I work with barbers. I work with a lot of barbers here in the States, and so what we do is provide trainings. But to your question, I went to a barber. I know not to cheat on my barber, right? He keep me. I see him every Friday, and that's my barber. I definitely we got a thing going on. He keep me together, so.
I love that, Lorenzo. Come on. let's hear from you, men who cheat on their barber. Have you found that you have had clients who probably go to Stephen's barber place instead of yours? Tell me a bit about that relationship with your client. Do you have clients who cheat on you with other barbers?
More kind of try to swear for them. More swear for them a little bit, you know, because I mean, sometimes there's cases that the barber might not be available. Mark, you know, you have customers that will remain loyal no matter what. If it's a function, them rather go look like a bushman. Them not trip. You understand? But I think it's something that every barber at some point in time has to deal with, you know. And my customers, them if them supposed to spam the comment section right now, me and them and this question, I'm telling you, my customer them do it, but you know, them know better now. I think the ones that over the years have become consistent. I mean, it's a case where you know you gotta ruffle them feathers a little bit, cause you know me like being a young barber. When I first started off, I started around barbers that were more mature than me, and I remember one barber. I'm telling you, man, he went off one day. A customer came in, one of his clients, and they had gotten a cut from another barber. And I tell you, the man went off, and I'm like to him, you can't be so bitter, bro. Why act like this? And him just, you know. So I mean, I think it's something that every barber have to deal. But over time, the customers them, as we say, build a relationship with them, and them it's like a family. But there might be a case where the barber is not available. I can see with that. Customers and my customers and I have a relationship to the point where if, and I don't want you to think that it's fair, but if them have to get a cut and I'm unavailable, they will call me and ask me for recommend a barber. I have no barber I can recommend, or them just tell me straight up. Me I go get a cut, you know, and you know, me give them to go ahead.
No, you know, Gerald Gordon keeps on commenting and say, loyal, bad, Kem the barber alone, not cheat. You know, we're looking at some of the comments here, and they're really going on. You know, that was Kemar. Kemar, I need to know where in Portmore you are. Cause you say I live in Portmore, you know, but you I don't know. I might leave you hungry. Stephen. Men who cheat on their barbers. What do you do? We hear Kemar talking about how a client, how a barber went off on a client.
Listen, Kemar, man. Kemar don't like
I want to hear from you.
If it's nothing bad to lose, I want to feel client.
You're afraid to comment on this one.
No, man, me comment, man. I say, Kemar, look, I can favor comment and talk the things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you talk up the things for us now, Stephen. Let us hear. We want to hear from you.
No, man.
Why most barbers get vexed when their client use another barber? We call it trim feelings. Come, you're up in your feelings about this thing. Tell us how it goes.
Customer to that from time to time. Some things, stuff happen. So I will agree with Kemar on something, you know? Like stuff happen, you know, the barber can be away. Like I go away from time to time. You know, so when I go away, like, they call me, who I must cut with? I say, well, you know, trim with chin, trim with neck, you know. I spread them all over my barber. Then get them answer. Yeah, stuff like that.
Then what happened, Stephen, when you see a man who you used to cut him here, and when you look and see him well groomed and cut, and you know, say it's not you him come to?
I know, but some of them do it sometime, you know, them when you see them say a good while or a good month, then wait till they hear grow back up and realize and them coming. So it's them look at funny in the mirror and I look for him. It's not noticed. It's not noticed about him because step out there. You know? Sometimes it's a funny, you know, then you know the line and my line. Now you know, and then them just come keen and make you know what's right, but my customer, them, for the most part, are loyal customers. You understand me? Any customer that is not loyal to me is not really my customer.
It's not a customer.
It's like a customer. Them go any barbershop, anywhere them catch.
Like we call them randoms.
Yeah, you know.
Any customer with a loyal around.
Those are not really. Yeah, those are not
Our
really
Lorenzo
loyal.
is understanding our dialect here, and all those who are listening worldwide. You hear what they call those who are not loyal? They say they are random.
Yeah, man, they're randoms, man.
Random.
Yeah, man.
Yes, so listeners,
But
we hear
Bounce about. I call them bounce about. You know?
you call them boat.
gentlemen, you say you don't want them to cheat on you, but is there a place where your customers will divorce you? Are there reasons? This is not just cheating now, but outright divorce you and say, you know what, we finished with you. Are there some circumstances, some reasons why a customer you think it is fair, and I want you to be objective, where you think they have the right to say, you know what, me finish with you? Are there circumstances, situations?
Let me say, I wouldn't say it is fair to you for a customer to do that, but you know, we have this thing where we always say customers are always right, and sometimes they're not really right, you know, but you just give them the right, you know what I mean? Because if it's a case where I'm going to call you and say, Steven, you at the shop? They say yes. Okay. And I tell you, if you want to come trim, he don't tell you the time when him coming to trim. Just call and ask if you're at the shop. You at the shop now, customers come in, customers have made them good appointments. Customers are waiting, and then him barging at the shop. They say, me next in the chair.
Yeah.
They're like, no. So waiting. You know what I mean? No, man, but Benjamin, call you, Benjamin, if you get to call you. But you never make an appointment. You never tell me what time you come in. I don't even know if you just have me by the shop.
Yeah.
You have them problematic customers there. They just purposely do stuff like that. They don't like to wait and these things, and they make problems. Right? And then we get up and cuss it. Every time I come, I have to wait and can't bother. But you're too busy and I can't deal with this. And they make excuses, and then you see, after a while, you don't see them again. Them gone somewhere else, you know, and then spread so much bad stuff on you. But you never did nothing wrong. But you get the blame. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Gentlemen, so there are reasons that they can divorce you. Otmar, Richard says, bless up my barber. Kemar Scott, real boss. Kemar, why I feel like it's in 8 West you are. I see something saying here. Good evening, Pastor Courtney. Please big up Kemar, the best barber, from Nathan. And if that's in Nathan, that's
yes, Nate. Yeah, man. I think it's the same Nate, but
But gentlemen, we want to get a little deeper. We just want to remind our listeners you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125 or give us a call on our studio line at 876-968-8327 or 8. That's 876-968-8327 or 8. Or join us over on Facebook or YouTube. We have some, we've been saying some of the messages that we've been seeing that we want you to hear. But I want to go to Lorenzo again with the Confess Project. We're talking about the barbershop being therapeutic, and it seemingly offers counseling to some of those who enter in. How does one deal with, as a barber, a young man comes in, you're cutting me on him, he's saying, boy, the young lady has gotten up and left me. I found out the child is not mine. What do you do? How do you provide counseling and advice? Is it that you just give a listening ear? What do you do? Kemar and Stephen, listen up, because we're coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is, one thing that we teach our barbers is we help them to do what they already naturally do, and that's really listen. You know, a lot of times is we listen is so powerful. You know, a lot of times we like to be heard ourselves more, but if we listen more, there's a lot of power that come in that. Also, what we call validation, understanding where that person is coming from, right? And so that's powerful. These are natural tools anybody can use, and that's what makes it really powerful. You know, you don't have to be a clinical person to do this. You can just listen. You can be compassionate, and you will unlock things that would be very, very powerful. And I'm sure, like Kamar knows, the more powerful you can be with your clients, the more they'll come back and patronize you and spend money with you, and take and use your services, right? And so I think that's what we get out of this is teaching those tools so they can so barbers can unlock the power of their clients in their communities.
You have trained over 300 barbers, is this the type of guidance you give them, the listening skills, the validation? What do you offer those barbers? In 20 cities, you have trained over 300 barbers.
Yeah, actually, we trained over 1,000 barbers in 40 cities, so that's an update.
Yes, thanks for that. Congrats, man.
Yeah. So we're on a mission to, reaching Black men and boys all over the world, and so a part of this work is that we're helping them to do what they already have better. A lot of these barbers are great listeners, and they are already counselors, so we're showing them that they can do this even better. And so that's where we come in at, and I think that's really powerful. So.
Awesome.
I think that's a powerful thing, there, Lorenzo. Especially, you spoke about listening skills, which in itself is not that easy work to listen to persons. We tend to want to talk and we want to be heard.
Right.
But here you are, facilitating an environment where your customers can really just get a listening ear, and non-judgmental and affirming, validating what they're going through. Kemar, and for you, how does that work for you? Do you feel pressured at times by your customers, or you feel relaxed? Is it at sometimes you think they're expecting more from you? How you feel about that, Kemar?
As Lorenzo pointed out earlier, barbers are naturally great listeners. I'd like to say barbers are special people because, like he said, you don't have to go through like a whole clinical course, become a psychologist or anything of that sort. And I definitely don't feel pressured. I think growing up over the years and realizing that men, we kind of lack, well, not kind of, we lack social support. So I mean, as an individual who can provide as another man to man, that can provide that level of support, that listening ear, that comforting conversation. I think a lot of men need that, and I think the barbershop goes back to the first question: why in the barbershop? I think that it provides that environment because it's really what we call the man cave, So you have a surrounding of men, I say. So it provides that. So when one man can vent about how him feel, and you as a individual, the barber or anybody sitting in the area can relate and can give comforting advice and listening ear, then that energy automatically just flows to everybody. So it's not, to me, for me personally, I don't feel pressured at all listening to customers or providing that level of validation.
Awesome. We just heard from Kemar. Kemar, you seem to have such a large fan base. Big up Kemar from mom and the rest of the family. Someone says he is the best artist, and I'm supposing that may be Letitia. Tanisha Donaldson says best barber Stephen, men's grooming and lounges. So it seems as if you also have female clients. Tamar Scott says Kemar always willing to take a challenge, never backs. A challenge never backs, my bro. Always ready. It doesn't matter, it would seem, whatever they ask you to do. Apparently, if they bring a picture or whatever, you are up to the challenge. Kev, you're here with me? It says, yes. Good morning, brethren.
Steven, you're there. What want to know, and it's a far-fetched question, but you guys are influencing young men, and
Right.
this is the mailbox, and we say we want to challenge, encourage, and empower them. Do you
Right.
see yourself as role model? And I'd love to get the feedback from the other two persons, Kamara and Lorenzo. Do you see yourself as role models? And what is it that you're hoping
Yeah, man.
to do to our young men when you're operating as a barber? Yeah.
Man, of course, I see myself as a role model. I try to be a leader and lead by example, you know. You know, these young barbers, they come in and they look at you and they watch you, they watch everything that you're doing. You know? Yes, man. So
Yes.
you have to be an example, right? So if you don't like carry yourself a particular way, if you don't set a standard, anything like that, then they're going to want to do the same. You understand? So you have to be an example. You have to be the example that you want. You know.
Thanks, Stephen. Come on, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Any further to that? Do you see yourselves as role models as well? What image are you creating for the young men and those who probably would want to emulate you? Talk a bit about that for us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I believe that young men, what they see is what they will be. And so I feel like when we model ourselves in the best way, you know, they will want to be us. And so I believe that you know, showing them a positive image, positive likeness, young men, families, and mothers and children will want to mimic that. So I think that's what the barbershop does. The barbershop also is an institution. I like to say, you know, it is a man institution, and it's our only institution where we can really be ourselves amongst everything in the world.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo. Kamar, you spoke already. I'm trying to remember.
No.
Just position.
Just a small, you know, just something small, me add to it. I definitely think, you know, look at myself as a role model, because like my slogan is aspire to inspire. So I mean, you have, like Lorenzo said, barbershop is like an institution. You have the younger, you know, boys coming up. You have to carry yourself a particular way, and it's not just inside the barbershop, because you realize that, you know, quite a few persons know me and quite a few persons cut with me. So I mean, they see you outside of the barbershop as well. So you have to carry yourself a particular way. You have to live up to the standard that, you know, people are expecting of you.
Excellent.
Example.
Yes. A couple more comments here. A couple more comments here, Kev. One person says, "Good morning, brethren. I was introduced to my barber in 1972 by a friend. I was pleased with his work and I've stuck with him ever since then. 50 years in November. Apart from 4 years overseas in college, one barber there, only 2 other persons have cut my hair since then. Done from Eltham." Now that's commitment. That's loyalty.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
That's a real customer.
That's more like a serious marriage.
Yeah, man. It's a real.
Tell me something, gentlemen. With our men behaving at times in antisocial ways, and not all of them, but some. Yeah, the way we drive on the street, you know, whether involving criminality, etc. Do you believe that what you're offering would soothe men, make them in a better frame of mind to you know, behave in ways that they would treat their wives, their women better, conflict resolution, be better men? And it might be far-fetched, correlation, causation, whatever it is. But from your perspective, and I probably, yes, Lorenzo, you could share your perspective. What you're involved in, does it affect men's behavior positively, you think?
Absolutely. I believe that men become not only better men, because a part of this being in a barbershop is really learning from other men, right? Like learning what they do, and it gives you perspective, right? It gives you another look at things, and I think that will change how you do in your relationships with your children, and it really helps to not be toxic, right? And so I think that it gives us opportunity to be good people, and really develop a good heart for others, because we get to learn from others and other men that look like us. And I think that's powerful. That's something we don't get to see as often. So that's the only place, again, that I think we do get to share that perspective and a new lens of opportunity.
Excellent. That's Lorenzo. May I add to that by sharing something that Gerald Gardner has posted in relation to Kevin's question? This is one of Kemar's client. He says, I strongly believe that the conversations in the barbershop do affect a man's mental health because it allows us to verbally vent and also listen to real life situations that men experience on a daily basis. Many times I'll be sitting in Kemar's barbershop and just listen to the testimonials of the other men, which helps me to have a knowledge so that I can relate with it if I should ever experience it. Kemar, tell us a bit, as Kevin said, do what, well, this is a testimony that what you do does help to shape our men. Have any persons come and said, thanks for sharing, you know?
Yeah, man, definitely. Definitely. Loads of times. Sometimes they might not, because there are stages where persons are not comfortable enough. But like after them leave the barber shop, you will get a text or a call later on saying, they appreciate the conversation, they really help them go through something. And sometimes it's not you directly, like what Gerald said. It's sometimes it's the conversation happening around that customer at that time. So it definitely helps.
Awesome. Stephen, your comments. We have 3 minutes left. Tell us a bit, and then your final take that you want to have our men come into our barbershops, be well groomed, lounge, help with mental care, counseling that you offer. Let's hear a bit from you.
Yeah, man. Like Kevin and Lawrence are saying, customers come into the shop, Most customers come, a customer come to the shop not just to get a haircut, more on somebody to talk. You understand? It just come into the shop because they want somebody to talk to, go through something, you want to release it, So that's where the therapeutic part of it comes in. Them release that stress, that tension, them get advice, them feel more empowered at the end of the day. Like you said, that client, Kemara's client said, So it's therapy. It's therapy. It's therapy for the mind and the body, you know what I mean? And, other barbers will be in the shop as well, giving him encouragement, reasoning and things. Can make a man laugh and all that little thing, and feel much better after having that conversation in the barbershop than before he came into the barbershop. So he will leave the barbershop feeling more empowered, So that's a positive thing for him. But what I want most of all is Lorenzo?
Yes, Sir Stephen, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, I should say, sorry. Yeah, man.
All right.
What I want most of all for men to do right now. You said you have 3 minutes, right?
Well, we now have 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry. What I want men to do most of all is take more care of themselves.
Yes.
Treat themselves better. Treat yourself. Gift yourself. Treat yourself. Spend more time taking care of yourself. Don't just allow the ladies to take care of yourself and you don't treat yourself so well. You know what I mean? Because ladies like a well-groomed male. That is
Thank
what
you.
makes a lady attracted to you. So take more care of yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Kamar, 10 seconds. Lorenzo, 10 seconds. Thank you, Stephen. Final comment.
Yeah,
My,
thank you all so much again. Appreciate you for the opportunity.
Okay. Hello?
Say that again, Lorenzo. Didn't hear it.
Yeah, Lorenzo.
Thank you all again for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Bless you. Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us,
man.
Kamar.
Definitely, man. Likewise, man. I just want to say thanks to everybody from the Love 101 team for inviting me over. Give thanks to everybody who has support Kems. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. And we want to say thanks to our producer, Tony K. Bromfield, to Tamar Butler for technical support, and to our guests, all three, Kemar Scott, Stephen Chase, and Lorenzo Lewis. Kev.
Yeah, tremendous program designed for men. This is the Mailbox here, hosted by men. This is Kevin Bailey and
Courtney Morris and Jordan Wilson said, Brap Kemar, one done. Catch you next week, same place inside the Mailbox next week, Monday. Bless you.
Make the heathen them laugh talk. No one ever skylark. Some judgment going dark and a witch pattern. He go preach a word, preach it up like a storm. A 90 from him born. Witch pattern.